Anime has no shortage of overpowered characters, or someone who's just strong in a way that puts you in awe. It's fun to have power level debates and all, but seriously, comparing these freaks of nature with each other is nothing short of a Herculean task. So instead, I want to dedicate this video to talking about them and what I like about either them or their shows. Today I'll be looking at my top 10 favourite overpowered main characters in anime. But before anything, let's take some time to thank today's sponsors, Counterside. Counterside is an anime-style mobile RPG from Studio B-Side, where the players take the role of a CEO who recruits counters with special powers to fight against monsters that threaten the world. Now, the first thing that stands out to me for Counterside is the quality of the graphics. The whole 2D anime feel is exactly my jam, and the urban fantasy setting is the cherry on top. It also has an immersive story that puts it well above a lot of its peers in the anime RPG genre. And yes, this is a gacha game, but what isn't a gacha game these days? The most important part is the gacha is quite generous. You get a lot of free rolls, the rates are pretty nice, and the game isn't made in a way that makes every banner character a must-have. This is one of the most free-to-play friendly games I've ever played, and that's saying something, considering how many of these anime-esque gacha games I've played. Pre-registration is available, so if you want to be the first in line and get some exclusive benefits, don't waste any time in registering. You can use the following promo code to get in-game rewards. Hope to see you join the fun soon. Starting things off is Rai. Remember back when we got those Korean webtoon adaptations? Those were the days. Among the three of them, Noblesse doesn't have the most standout reputation. However, if there's one thing that the anime showcased decently, it's how overpowered its main character, the reawakened vampire Rai, is. Throughout the show, he got a lot of opportunity to showcase his strength. For me, the most memorable one would be the battle against clan leaders. It's the culmination of him establishing how far above everyone he is. He just played with all of them throughout, and this fight is even better in the source material. The second character on the list is Mob. At first glance, Mob doesn't give the impression of an overpowered character, at all. He's super plain in terms of appearance, and as a character, there's nothing brooding or loud about him. None in the two opposites of character impressions. Don't be fooled, this is one of the most powerful psychics of them all. I like Mob because he's not just all about the OP. In fact, much of the story's drama is about him and his emotions, how he forms a dynamic with the world around him, and how he channels that energy to become the hero that he is. Still, let's give credit to the powers because they're insane. Some of his battle modes come with the most spectacular animations people have known in the world of anime, and I think that it helps carry the scenes and drive that point home. Mob may be your plain everyday guy at first glance, but underneath that socially awkward personality is one of the most powerful psychics of all. Next in line is Tatsuya from Mahoka. You have a protagonist who's supposed to be one of the lower tier students, but it turns out he might as well be God in a high school student's body. Genius engineer, top class fighter, and plain immortal. Tatsuya seems to be a lot of these, and the entirety of Mahoka seems to be episode after episode of driving that point home. This is a guy who can heal lethal wounds in a matter of seconds, bring people back to life, analyze everything mid-battle, and come out on top with his trusty handguns. People have given him the moniker Godsuya, and it's not hard to see why. Don't get ready to leave the school setting just yet, because Korosensei is up next. In contrast to the stoic attitudes of the previous entries, Korosensei comes off as jovial. He's an upbeat character with a lot of absurd requests, but don't let the childish facade fool you. There's a reason why the entire premise of Assassination Classroom is to kill him. It's because it's nigh on impossible. Korosensei has shown to be near impervious to everything and is filled to the brim with weapons, often in places you'd least expect them. And that's not even getting to the superhuman intelligence, senses, and speed, all traits befitting someone who was the world's greatest assassin at some point in his life. Well, he does have his share of weaknesses, but those are mostly psychological and barely affect his showing as the Reaper. Crossing him is something you never ever want to do. The fifth character I want to talk about is Alucard. I've had a lot of fun talking about Hellsing. Anyway, it's the perfect Western-oriented anime in the 2000s. Dark, gritty, violent. It's those hardcore things that appeal to a lot of the people wanting a dash of edgy coolness in their lives, and Alucard is the personification of those elements. Dressed in his garb with matching shades, Alucard is nothing short of cool. The cherry on top, of course, is the sheer overpoweredness of the character. A lot of Hellsing is dedicated to him just decimating the opposition in the most over-the-top manner possible, all while holding back. If multiple showcases of power weren't enough, you can try seeing him at his peak. Level 0 Alucard is horror incarnate, and a true sight to behold. And hey, if you like what you're seeing so far, don't hesitate to hit that like and subscribe button. Coming up now is Psyche. In a lot of ways, Psyche reminds me of Mob. The similarities are just uncanny given that they both have psychic powers and have personalities that remind me of each other. They also have a desire for attracting people despite their reservations, just way more pronounced in the case of Psyche. And they're both crazy OP. It's just not as visually stunning in the case of Psyche because he's in a comedy show. Still, that doesn't take away from the insanely large arsenal Psyche has when it comes to putting his psychic powers into action. He can practically do anything with his powers, and fans can attest to that. It's really a joy to see Psyche's cynical attitude create an interesting dynamic with the people around him. Add that to a lot of over-the-top shenanigans, and you have a winner for one of the best comedies the anime world has given us. Wangling is the sixth character on the list. Daily Life of a Mortal King is one of the more niche titles around, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's the show that you're the least familiar with out of the things I've talked about so far. Still, it's one of the most honest in terms of titles that sell the main character, because it easily sets expectations. The immortal Wangling is one of the most powerful main characters in anime. For the most part, Wangling wants nothing more than to have a normal life. That's been the trend with a lot of these characters, right? Just like Psyche, he just can't seem to stay out of trouble. However, in contrast to said character, Wangling has powers far beyond human comprehension. The immortality is a thing, but how about reality warping? Add that to the superhuman feats, and you have a virtual god whose skills have been honed after constant reincarnation, abilities that he tries oh so hard to keep in check. Daily Life of a Mortal King is a fun show and all, but it's also quite niche and appeals strongly to a particular audience. If you're someone up for a bit of Chinese anime that features the overpowered protagonist the cultivation genre has become notorious for, you can try this one out for size. Right, that was the 7th entry in, so 8th on my list is Heinz. You can point to many things to make a case for Heinz to be one of the most overpowered protagonists of all time. It could be how easily he beat the strongest enemies. It could be how he nonchalantly eradicates entire armies with a spell. Whatever it is, he's here to stay in the conversation for good. It's understandable how hard it is at times to see past the intimidating skeleton appearance and the stoic facade, all while Heinz acts like a supervillain out to conquer the world. But he's more than that, and his loyalty and charisma have attracted many denizens of Yggdrasil to his side. Beyond that shadow of an all-powerful ruler also lies a human side, one that he hadn't let go of. That, in my opinion, makes him one of the best characters I've talked about so far. Or maybe it's just me finding that sympathetic side past that scary non-human form to be very cool. As we approach the end of the list, why don't we talk about Arnos?
どうやら貴様の魔法は戦いには気づいたか心臓の鼓動だ
Just like Rai, Arnos is a supernatural being awakened after a long hiatus, trying to come to terms with a world that's passed him by. With Arnos, he wastes absolutely no time in making a first impression. From the moment he had his first fight with that cocky guy in the first episode, I already knew what we were getting. For the most part, it is what it is. He just shows how vastly superior he is compared to everyone else in the show, but I also find myself immersed in the show because how he goes about solving problems that can't just be brute forced. People call Misfit of Demon King Academy the One Punch Man of Magic Academy anime, but I think it's a little more than that. Come and give the show a shot. And topping off the list, who else? It's Saitama. Here's the actual One Punch Man. What I love about the show is that for starters, it hooks you on a simple premise. One hero trained so hard until he became able to beat everything in one punch. Simple premise, simple show, right? Wrong. I could talk a lot about the intricacies and the unexpected depth from One Punch Man, but we're here in an overpowered characters list, so let's focus on the main character, Saitama. Well, there isn't much to say for Saitama, it is what it is. One punch, villain goes bye-bye. The cool thing about Saitama though is how creative and funny some of those one punch wins are. The Sonic fight comes to mind, you see. While others like the Genos fight are remarkably awesome, overall, Saitama is a cool character who's very fun to watch. Much of it has to do with his personality, on how he shifts from indifferent to serious to comedic. One Punch Man is a parody of the overpowered hero aspects of shows, and if you're up for some laughs and some serious feels, make sure to check Saitama out in his own habitat. And that's my list of overpowered main characters. Who's your favourite OP main character? Make sure you comment below. If you're up for some more interaction, you can check out the Discord link below as well as drop by the channel's Patreon and Instagram pages. Don't forget to check out our sponsors game, Counterside. Take it from me, this is a gacha game that anime fans should absolutely try. That's it for this video, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you again.